dating apps aren't broken. They're operating exactly the way that they were designed. They were designed to keep you swiping, second guessing, and emotionally invested without ever helping you to actually build a real relationship. So let's dive into how to use these apps without letting the apps use you. I'm Monique. I'm a relationship strategist. I've been married now for 7 years, and my job here is to help you from the very beginning set up your before pre-dating interactions all the way through dating and set yourself up to have a holistic and successful marriage on the back end, because once you get married, that's when your relationship really begins. So if that's helpful for you, feel free to subscribe and like this video, and back to the video. So let's start by understanding really how dating apps work. The first thing that you really need to understand is, just like every other type of business structure out there, dating apps are a business and they make money off of you being on the app. So they don't make money when you start to form real relationships. They don't make money when you meet the right kinds of people, and they don't make money when you leave the app. They make money by keeping you single. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-dating app. Dating apps can be very useful tools, and I've met plenty of people that have met their spouse through a dating app. It's just a matter of using the tool properly. So, now that you know how dating apps actually work and how they make money, let's figure out how to make them work for you. The first thing that you really need to know is that dating is just a giant numbers game. And I want you to look at this as a perspective from like a sales perspective. Most of us are familiar with like a summer salesman. You're familiar with the fact that they come over and knock on your door or different things like that. Most of you have probably had a summer salesman knock on your door. But look at it this way. A summer salesman has to knock on X number of doors. Maybe it's 13 doors in order to actually get X number of appointments. If you knock on 13 doors, you'll get 2 or 3 appointments. From those 2 or 3 appointments, you might end up with 1 sale. So the numbers become, how fast can I knock on these doors? Dating is the exact same way, especially when using a dating app. You have to swipe up a certain number of minutes a day or swipe up on a certain number of people. You have to get a certain number of matches from those people, and from those matches, you have to start a certain number of conversations in order to get a certain number of dates. So how fast can we get swiping, okay? Now that's just the first thing that you really need to understand about how the whole dating world runs and operates. In fact, Layla Hormozi has a really good quote that she got, and some really good advice from her sales manager, teaching her this exact same principle, that dating is just a numbers game. So let's start by going back to the dating app itself. How can we set yourself up so that you're on a dating app and that you can let the tool work for you? Let's dive into one of the biggest topics that people talk about, your profile. Now, when you are crafting a profile, this is the biggest thing that you really need to understand. Your profile is not some type of advertisement. Let me say that again, because I think that that is really important for you to know. Your profile on a dating app is not an advertisement. It is a filter. Your job is not to actually attract every single person to you. Your job is to attract the right types of people. We have to get really clear what our marketing goals are per se. So when you're looking at a dating app, you have to understand that there are certain things to be looking for and certain things not. Now, one of the biggest things that I really think that you should be doing is setting up your photos and your expectations right from the very beginning. Your profile, if you're a funny person, make it funny. If you're a really chill person, make it really chill. What really is going to do you your best benefit is just being your most authentic self in your photos. Okay, now don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that do silly stuff like, they're like, post a photo with you and a dog. Okay, sure, if you have a dog, maybe that's important to you. It's definitely an important thing if you're dating someone and they don't like dogs or if they're allergic to dogs, right? But like if you don't have a dog and you're not really into dogs, don't post a dating photo with you and a dog. It doesn't even make sense. Or sometimes people post like their baby pictures and like, cool, but like, dude, don't post your baby pictures. It's not going to help you filter out what it is that you need to know. So there's a couple of different pictures that I would recommend to put onto your profile here. And just remember, your specific profile is supposed to filter out the right types of things and not introduce the wrong types of things or the wrong types of things for attraction. So the first picture that I would have on there is I would have what we would call like your professional, pizzazzy, polished photo, okay? This is like if you have a professional picture done, putting up a polished photo at the very beginning is going to get you a lot of views. So I highly recommend having that be your first picture. But now the rest of these pictures you can really place in really any order, but these are the pictures that you should really have on here. You should have a polished photo. You should have some type of like, I would call it like an activity or some type of action photo of something that you love to do. Now, what I mean by this is like, okay, your specific profile should be attracting the right types of people, right? So if you really enjoy certain activities, if you really like to golf, put a picture of you golfing. If you really like to hike, do that. Swimming, whatever. This is a chance for you to actually let people see that you're a cool person in some type of way, and you want to showcase the fact, hey, this is something that makes me unique, right? So I would definitely do a polished photo. That will get you a lot of views. Then I would do some type of activity or sporting photo. And then we're going to, this one might shock you a little bit. We want to have your day-to-day photo. Okay, now this is like, if you woke up, your average day-to-day best version of you, what does that look like? If you're someone that, let's just say that you're a woman, for this example, if you wake up and I would say maybe about 50% of the times you get ready and do makeup and 50% you don't, it would be good to have both of those day-to-day photos of you, one with makeup, one without makeup, so that you can actually see what it is that you look like and you're representing yourself well. Some people have a really high need for what we call physical attractiveness in a relationship. Now that physical attractiveness can come in a bunch of certain ways. You might not be the most attractive person, but if you're really fit, that can be really attractive to a different type of guy. You might not also be the most fit person in the world, but if you're really beautiful, that could be really attractive as well. Same thing for you guys, right? If you're really tall, but you're really overweight, that could be a big no for a lot of women. So making sure that you're understanding, okay, there's a balance. I could be really attractive, but maybe I'm overweight. Maybe I am overweight and I am not very attractive. Well, then you should probably work on getting in shape, right? You want to make sure that you're presenting yourself in a way that's going to be authentic, but you want to put your best foot forward, okay? Sometimes physical attractiveness is really going to matter. Sometimes it really isn't. And what you need to do is you need to say, this is me, and I'm looking for someone that will accept myself as I am. Okay? Now, for example, even if you're overweight and you don't think you're very attractive, whether you're a male or whether you're a female, give it an opportunity to really showcase your personality in these photos, okay? Now, for some people, they're not gonna mind if you're overweight. For some people, that's gonna be a really big deal. So it's really important to make sure that you're showcasing yourself on the best version of yourself. The number one mistake that I see with profiles and pictures is they use AI to generate some type of photo that is not actually them. And it's what they really want to look like, or what they would hope to look like, or what they want to feel like. And that's not going to help you at all. If you're looking to build a relationship, you want to find the right types of people. The next thing that I would actually recommend doing is and this is going to be pretty controversial here, but I actually recommend putting on what I call like your silly or your bad day look. Okay, so if you're a girl, maybe this is just rolling out of bed and you just put your hair up in a ponytail, or you throw a baseball cap on and you're in sweats. Cool. Whatever that is for you, this is going to be the most representational person that you could potentially put on a dating profile. Now, granted, you can add more photos. Like, for example, you can add maybe a secondary polished photo. You can add a secondary polished photo. You can add a couple of other different things. But the reason why you set this up is to set yourself up to succeed. Because when you show up on the date, if you can go through the fact that you have a good profile, your profile was authentic to who you are, if you're funny, be funny, if you're interesting, be interesting, if you're silly, you can throw that in there. If you're like really smart, put really smart things in there. People will be attracted to the most authentic version of you. And I want to give you like a little analogy here that I think will really help. Let's take a look at something that people are pretty familiar with, and let's take a look at like spices. Like if you were to go through and pull out, let's just say like red cayenne pepper out of your seasoning cabinet, and then you would also pull out cinnamon. I would never put cinnamon and red cayenne pepper together. Both are really good spices. Same thing on a dating app. You could really be an awesome, perfect version of cinnamon, but if you're dating someone or messaging someone that's red cayenne pepper, it's just not going to work. So red cayenne pepper needs to be looking for people that are like onion powder or garlic powder or ground mustard or cumin. And if you're cinnamon, you need to be looking for like nutmeg or brown sugar or other things that really complement that, okay? And this is really important for you to know, because if you don't approach dating with understanding that you want to attract the right people for you, you are constantly going to be trying to change and mold yourself to be something you are not. You are setting yourself up to fail in a relationship. So this is going to be a really crucial piece to being your most authentic version of yourself. But now that we've really covered kind of your profile and what the recommendations would be to set yourself up to succeed when it comes to your pictures and when it comes to a little bit of your bio, it's going to be really interesting to talk about our next piece here, because there's a lot of controversy that people talk about specifically when it comes to messaging. So once you've gone through, you've actually created a killer profile and people are like hyped up, excited, you're getting matches right and left, you're feeling really good about things, you're interacting with people all the time. Now we have to talk about messaging. So here's the big thing that you really need to know. Most people will match, they'll swipe, they'll match with someone, they'll start a messaging conversation, and they're messaging for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months with a person. Guys, this is a really, really bad thing to do. What ends up happening is you get way too emotionally invested and attached to someone that is not yet officially attached to you. You might be messaging back and forth and building some type of relationship, but the whole point of being on a dating app is to date. You're missing the entire point of it. You are literally feeding the tool and letting it use you. And besides, sometimes you're going to run into people that are fake or that are not real. Your job and your first job is to get off of the app as quickly as possible. So when it comes to messaging, here's the first thing that you want to figure out. One is, are you a real person? One, are you real? So send them a message. Now, don't be super hung up on this, because if you've matched with someone, the first thing that they do when they get a message from you is they go back to what? Your profile. And if you've represented yourself well, that person that is looking at it will either go, hey, I'm a cinnamon and you're a red cayenne pepper, I'm not going to respond. Boom, done you a huge favor. You don't need to worry about it. No fret. You haven't overinvested yourself. You haven't wasted your time. You haven't wasted your resources. They've done you a favor. Boom. If you don't get a message back, don't even worry about it. Literally, don't even worry about it. If you do get a message back, when you're messaging someone, they're going to look at that and go, hey, you're like an onion powder and I am red cayenne pepper. I think this could actually work. I'm going to send you a message back. Yes, I am real, right? You're checking to see if they're authentic. You can say something funny, you can introduce yourself, but here's the thing, guys, okay? If you were like Brad Pitt, you're gonna get messages back no matter what, because you have a brand, because you know who you are. It doesn't matter if the only message he sent would be, hey. If he sent, hey, the first thing they do is they check your profile, and if it's a good fit, they message you back. So if you have not set yourself up to have a really solid profile of a solid representation of yourself, they're out, okay? But you don't have to overinvest and figure out all these crazy things about what message to send. Now, I think if you're sending a generic message of hey and you're not getting a lot of responses, stop sending the message hey and try something else, right? You've got to keep testing. This is a process, and everything's going to be different for every single person. If you are, for example, a really funny person, you can send a funny message right at the very beginning based off of their profile. If you match with someone and you're sending them a message, find something in their profile and do that. Or better yet, ask them about something in their profile. Ask them about the activities that they like to do, or bring up something that was in their pictures, in their profile. Start some type of a conversation. But the first thing that you're really going to check is, one, are you real? Are you a real person? Are you a bot? What's going on here, okay? Then the second thing that you're going to check for when you're messaging someone is, can we converse? Communication is the root of all types of attraction, of all types of foundations for relationships. Can you converse? If you can talk back and forth, you know that this person is a pretty good person. If you're really struggling to make conversation with someone, move on. It's just that one of those things, right? It either works or it doesn't work. It's either a good fit for you or it's not a good fit for you, and you've done yourself a favor by not continuing the messaging, okay? The third thing is, now that you know that you can converse, we get off the app. Okay, now why is this really crucial? Because apps are designed to keep you on the app, okay? If you can check if they're real, if you're conversing back and forth, your next goal is to get them off the app. Hey, can I get your phone number? Hey, can I grab whatever? Sometimes I hear people, they're like, hey, can you snap me? Can you send me a Snapchat? Can you whatever, right? Send them your phone number, get off the phone, and then what do? Okay? And you have to understand here that these messages back and forth, they should not take you very long. They should not take you very long at all. In fact, I would call this a 10 to 15 message maximum. What? Yes, I know. For all of you that actually have been messaging people for forever, maximum, okay? I'm talking about you send 10 messages, max. 10 to 15, max. Now total, because you're talking to another person, you should be getting a response rate back. This might be a total of what I call like 20 to 30 messages total. But this is you. Okay? So you should be sending 10 to 15 messages max. And then that might equivalent to somewhere between 20 and 30 messages. Honestly, if you have literally sent 6 messages, you're probably fine. You know this person's real. You know that they're into you. You're making great conversation. Get off the app. Just do it, okay? Ask for a phone number, or better yet, go straight for the date. This is the next thing that we're really going to be talking about here, is how to be intentional. The entire point of dating apps is to go on a date. The entire point of dating apps is to go on a date. So you can't just stay in messaging land forever, okay? When my husband asked me out, he went straight for the date. Message number one. Message number one. Okay, guys? And it was so refreshing. I was like, oh, look, somebody that actually knows what they want. Heck to the yes, I'll go on a date with you. Boom, done. We went on a date. Turned out to be the best decision of my entire life, okay? Be intentional. The entire point is to go on a date. So let's talk about this intention and why people are really scared about it. Guys, we live in a really funny society. You cannot be afraid to go after the things that you want. If you stay in fear for your entire life, you will never get the life that you're actually looking for. Okay? So here's the thing. You have to go straight for the date. You have to be really intentional. Once you get off the app, you go for the date. Period. End of statement. Go for the date. Okay, ask them out. Now, how how do we ask them out? And why is this really something that's super crucial and really intentional? And just so you know, men, you are predominantly responsible for asking here. Okay, so if you want to attract women, and not just like women, but like the types of women that you really want, be intentional. That showcases your confidence, it showcases your capacity to be ready for a date, and it showcases that you can lead. All three things are very crucial, very important to women. Period. End of statement. If you don't go for the date, you're probably just not ready to date. You're probably not ready for the relationship. You might not even have the capacity for a relationship. If you're ready, be ready and actually be intentional, okay? So how do we ask women out in a way that actually makes them feel safe? Well, the first thing is you have to tell them. Tell them, will you go on a date with me? I want to take you out. When are you available? Start by telling them and be intentionally specific with this message here. Use the word date. Be intentional. It'll help you way more than you realize, guys. Really, I'm serious about that. Tell them, ask them, be very intentional. Then, here's the thing. In order to have a date planned, you need to have some type of activity, a location, a duration, and a date / time that you're meeting on that date. Okay? These are the 4 things that you need on a date. Now, this is going to be crucial because when you set this up, you need to first say, hey, I want to take you out. Do you still live in the Boston area? Hey, I want to take you out. Do you still live in Oklahoma City? Right? Most of the time, dating apps are going to have you target around the area that you live in. Figure out how you can meet. And if you're too far away, then do a Zoom date, do a FaceTime date, play games, right? Okay, there are so many really cool things that you can do to play games online these days. And you can play chess or checkers or even tic-tac-toe online while you're having a conversation with someone. Or for better yet, Battleship or something that takes a little bit more strategy. Chess, for goodness sakes, guys. Okay, get creative. Tell them you want to go on a date and then make sure that the rest of these are planned. You have the activity. Maybe you're playing games online if you're too far away. And the location is you're online. The duration is, I would love to play games with you for an hour to an hour and a half on this Saturday at this time, at 7 p.m. Okay, now if you're not online, you still have to do all of this. But here's the thing. This is what we call the safety window. Okay, what happens if you don't do this? If you don't tell them where you're going to be, what location, and by the way, when you're on dating apps, let me just tell this to you and be absolutely frank. Every woman is terrified out of their mind and cautioned by their parents and cautioned by everyone on the face of the planet that you don't go out with somebody that you know. Avoid strangers, okay? We live in a very modern dating world. So what you need to know is that every woman is terrified of going on a hike in the woods or going on a walk in the woods by themselves. Don't do it for a first date. Just don't. That's not a way to make someone feel comfortable. They're worried they're going to get kidnapped, raped, or a combination of all of the above, okay? Child trafficked or sex trafficked or whatever is going on. Do not do it. Just period. This is the safety window. This location must be very public. Very public the first, I would say 1 to 3 times that you're going on a date with them. Very, very public. This is like, hey, do you want to go for a walk and do you want to go get boba tea and go for a walk at the mall for like an hour? Boom. On what day and what time works best for you? I'm available on Wednesday or Saturday. Boom, 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 boom. Better yet, if you want, this is like, hey guys, this is like basics here. If you can't do this, then like get out because you don't have the capacity for a relationship. This is bare minimum effort. But if you're ready for level 2, if you want to take this up a notch, give them 2 different activity choices. Men, women, you want to know how to get your date emotionally invested to going up and actually showing up on the date with you? Let them contribute to the planning. Take the initiative, preside and lead by planning 2 different activities. Give them 2 different choices and have them pick which one it is. And then, do not make the mistake that some of my clients have made by giving commentary on those choices. Pick 2 choices you want to do so that one's not super awkward. If you say, hey, let's go to the botanical gardens or let's go to a museum, and they're like, oh, you know what? The botanical gardens sound cool. And you're like, oh man, I was kind of hoping you'd go to the museum. What? Why would you do that? You just literally shut down your entire options for a date. Pick 2 options that you want to do that are both exciting, and then say, great, okay? What location are we meeting at? Is this location okay? How long do you want to be out? When can I expect to drop you off or take you home or take you back to the position I met you, right? And even offer, if you want to pick up your date, which guys, you should absolutely offer this. You can even offer and say, can I pick you up from a location even if it's somewhere public? Guys, your girl that you're taking out can drive to a local Smith's, can drive to a local gas station, can drive somewhere public. You can pick them up from there and drop them back off at their car and make them feel way safe that they're not having to give you your personal address. Personal addresses are scary. Why? Because women are freaked out. They're going to get raped or kidnapped or sex trafficked, okay? Make sure that you leave this safe for them. I'm just telling you this so that you can actually have the success that you're looking for, okay? So, leveling up, give them 2 choices and ask them where you can pick them up. Pick up and drop off. Because I can guarantee you that if they allow you to do this on the first date, which honestly, I don't even know if I would allow someone to do this for me on the first date, because maybe I really do want the capability to drive and escape and do whatever I need to myself, right? But if they allow you to do this, be extremely courteous and respectful about this. And guys, this safety window is crucial, especially in your messaging. Do not joke about these things. Do not joke about sex or sex trafficking or rape or about staying the night or about anything like that. If you want to get on the date, this is the safety window. Stay in the safe zone. Create the safe zone. And you will have a woman that cherishes your safety. That is what we're trying to do. That is the end goal, right? We're not just here to get on dates. We're here to create relationships long term. Okay, so how much time should you be spending on the apps in order to get to this point where you're creating this? Okay, if you have a 15-minute break while you're working, 15 minutes, go all 15 minutes. If you have a 30-minute lunch window, eat lunch while you're swiping up, down, left, right, whatever it is that, whatever app you're on, right? Take the time to spend, I would say, anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes a day. And you can do it periodically. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. But I would say that if you're serious about wanting to create a relationship, this needs to become a priority for you and how you handle it. So take the time to make it a priority. Spend 15 to 45 minutes doing it. And then once you've created the date and you've given them the option to choose and be a part of the planning and the location of the date, because I can guarantee you, every woman, when you go on a date with someone for the first time off of a dating app, they're messaging their mom, their best friend, their roommate, their other girlfriend, and they're going, hey, if I'm not back or if you don't hear from me by X, Y, and Z time, call the police. I'm serious. Or something. Panic, right? This is really important to create the safety window. If you get this all written up front in your messaging, you establish it on a phone call and then reiterate it with a text message, make sure you get this in writing for them so that they feel safe, okay? Then you get on the date. What happens on the date? Okay, now your first date with someone has one purpose and one purpose alone. And that one purpose is to answer this question. Do I like spending time with this person? Yes or no? That's it. If you like spending time with this person, enjoy your date spending time with that person. If you don't like spending time with that person, at the end of the date, it's time to go your separate ways. You were simply cinnamon and red cayenne pepper and it wasn't going to mix for you. Period, end of statement. When you go on a date, you are not trying to put out an ad. You're not trying to say, hey, this is really who I am and I'm super cool and blah, 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 blah. Nobody gives a crap. You're trying to form a relationship, which means you should be very curious. You should take the time to get to know that other person and figure out, do I like spending time with this person? Why or why not? That's interesting. Collect the data in your mind. Your brain is the biggest and most underutilized supercomputer that you can possibly give it. You have to go on a bunch of first dates and a bunch of second dates and a bunch of third dates to give your brain enough data to go, I liked this because of this. I want this in a relationship. I want to avoid this in a relationship. I don't like this. That's it. That is the only focus and purpose of the first date. If you're sitting there trying to analyze red flags and how cute your kids will be and whatever, throw it all out. You're not ready for a real relationship. You have to build it the right way, guys. If you go on a first date and you're looking for red flags, what are you going to find? Red flags. If you go on a first date trying to figure out if you like that person that's sitting across from you, you're going to find out if you like them or not. And now all of a sudden we're getting somewhere. I hope that this is helpful and I hope that this is starting to click about how to use dating etiquette, how to use dating apps if you're in charge of that. And really, here's the thing. You just have to understand that this works because you are dating with the intention to build a relationship. You're dating to get married or to find your long-term partner, and that intention will show up. It's attractive, and it will get you the right results that you're looking for. So this is really how you want to set up your dates. If you found this helpful, feel free to like, share, send it to somebody that you know would really benefit from utilizing this. As I mentioned, I'm a relationship strategist and it's really important to me. It's really passionate to me that we bring back love that has really been lost in our society. And that starts in the home. It starts in the foundation of our entire community, right? That starts at home. And so we want to set you up from the very beginning, not to just have a really good date and to get off the dating app onto a date, right? But we want to set up your entire relationship so that your relationship can succeed. And so if this is a priority for you, if you are done taking horrible people's advice that isn't based off of psychology or proven principle, and if you're tired of just trying things that really aren't working, and if you want a formula, if you want a success strategy and an actual path to take you there, then feel free to book a call with my team and I, and we can see if this might be a potential fit to be able to work together so that over the next 12 to 18 months, you can find and attract your dream spouse. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.